on the plane?
No, I wish.
You got your headphones
No, but it's okay.
in? Hey now, people. Look. Alright, y'all. Look, she's like, hey. Alright, girl. So let me just do a quick check-in with y'all first to just see how you're doing. I guess I'll do you first and then we'll go to Akia. And then if somebody else comes on, we'll jump in and see how they're doing as well. So how was your week? How you doing? Mind, body, and spirit. So you taking a self-care day, that's a win. And then also give your win for the week.
Okay. I'm doing well, like we spoke yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I did get my workout. My watch is not working. I got my workout in. I know. And then I left
Listen.
my watch at home. It was dead this morning. So, but I got a workout in this morning before I came to get my nails done. And I would say my win for this week is being slow to anger at work.
Okay.
Like I really focused on that because last week it was very rough and a lot of stuff was pissing me off. So I would say like recognizing that I was gonna become angry and trying to be slow to it. But
All
that's my win.
right. Yeah, that's a huge win, girl, because sometimes sometimes it be hard. Is there any particular practices that you put in place? Or did you use anything from the emotional intelligent piece that we went over that you can identify that you implemented?
Think the emotional intelligence of course, recognizing like what outcome I would want from the situation.
Okay.
Um, it's I'm gonna give you an example. So yesterday it was this lady in the drive-thru at the pharmacy who just wanted to pick at us because we didn't have the medication. And it's funny because when I went over there, like when I get angry, my ears start turning red. And my technician, he saw that and he was like, "Uh-oh." But my tone, like I kept my tone like in a level tone and I kept a smile on my face and I'm like, I'm sorry. I basically apologized to her. Like, I'm sorry I don't physically have it in stock for you, but I can try to order it for you or I can like call another pharmacy to see if they have it.
Right.
And she, even though she still tried to like elevate the situation, my voice, I kept a steady tone and a smile on my face, and it actually kind of brought her down. So
Okay.
the outcome that I wanted, I got, even though I was on the verge.
Right. Oh, all right. Okay. That's a win. And so you know what? I'm gonna do some more the research on that one as well. But there's actually scientific evidence that if you change your demeanor, the person will mimic you. So that will be something for us to look into for another call too. So like if you start leaning in and whispering and the next thing you know the other person is whispering and then you're like, wait a minute, why are we whispering? So yes, that's definitely something to keep in mind and then we'll go deeper into that one as well. Remind me. Matter of fact, let me write it down now. Akia, how you doing? Are you able to talk?
I'm able to talk now. I just
Okay.
parked at the location. We're taking my dad to breakfast at IHOP. Lord
Oh.
Jesus. So
Well, that's nice.
all the kids, my aunt is across the way taking my dad inside. Hold on, I can switch his camera before they go in. Okay, I don't. It's blurry. My
Yeah, it's
background's blurry.
blurry.
Jesus, stay inside. Whatever. Okay. But this week has definitely been. If my camera would turn back to face me, that's what. It's definitely been. I'd say challenging because, as you guys know, I posted in the group saying that hey, we definitely fell off track because a lot of stuff just happened this week where we were in the office, so it's not me working from home. Even though I had prepped my food and stuff, it was kind of just like, okay, holding myself accountable, I didn't do what I needed to do. But when I got into the office, me being triggered by certain things, like we found out like a coworker of ours is pregnant. And Tish, you probably don't know, but back in June, I had an ectopic pregnancy that ruptured, so I had to have surgery. And dealing with that on the emotional side and the reality of like, okay, hey, you technically were going to have another child had that child made it to your womb. But also realizing for myself, like, I didn't need another kid. No. Love baby to death, but baby, no. But it was just kind of like, I guess for me, I like to try and be helpful, and me feeling like I overstepped my bounds with like giving advice or things that wasn't asked. And I talked to the young lady. She was like, "No, you were overthinking it." She's like, "I appreciate the advice that you gave regarding the stuff that you talked about." And then my cousin, or my second cousin, my dad's cousin, he passed away, I think, earlier this week. So there was that. Thank you. And so just adjusting to that, it's been a whole lot this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I say my wins for this week would be, let's see. You okay? Okay. My other twin here.
Oh, she's so cute.
So I'd say a win for this week was like, there was a coworker or somebody that works in my department that reached out to ask me to be a mentor.
Oh, wow.
One position at the job. And that's because one of the other managers recommended that I mentor them to help them with what they want to achieve. Girl, please don't press this horn. But that's a win. And then another win is, if you don't know, childhood trauma. My mom was on Section 8 girl, so my mom loved to hoard clothes, and she would leave clothes and stuff in messes and everything, and have this thing where she would like yell and scream, and that would be the only time like my siblings and I would like act. But I was the sibling that always paid attention to my parents' moods, so it made me hyper aware of everyone else's like emotions besides my own. So a win regarding that was like, we have those dogs. Girl, they've been doing it. They've been pooping, they've been peeing, whole house is just like, oh Lord. And my sister, who I don't talk to, but we do live in the same house. I know, weird, another backstory, we'll cover that. Partially that's my fault too. But that's for another day. Mommy. But she sent something to the group chat, and I had blocked her in the group chat, not gonna lie, I don't want to messages from her. Complaining about like the dogs, the house being a mess and stuff like that. And instead of me like getting upset or feeling like, oh my gosh, she's attacking me, I was like, that's not a personal thing towards me. That's just a general observation. Like, hey, this stuff needs to be. My aunt looking at me crazy. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. She's like, where are you? Everything. I'm on the phone. I'm on the call. Okay. But instead of me taking it personally and getting upset, I was like, okay, let me take a step back and be like, hey, this isn't something that's an attack on me personally. This is just a general observation of things that needs to be done in a general vicinity. So I feel proud of my response there instead of taking things personally. But yeah, those will be a couple of wins.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Akia, do you have headphones? Because you need to go on in there with your family, girl.
Yes, I got headphones. Yeah.
So just pop us in the ear if you can. If you need to jump off, that's fine. But spend your time with your family. Make sure that the girls are good and your uncle. Tell everybody that the Feminine and Fit family say hey and are bad.
I will. I'm still here. I'm gonna pop a headphone in.
Okay. And then I'll pull up the chat so I can see. Let me know if you have any questions about anything as we continue to talk. So I wanted to go over briefly with you guys. We were going to do this one a couple weeks ago, but just to go back and to kind of talk about Feminine and Fit and more detail about what it is, why we put it together, so that you can have an understanding of what you're a part of, why you're a part of it, and then to kind of help you better to set your goals and align to what we're about, you know what I mean? So first and foremost, this is Feminine and Fit, and we always say feminine, fit, and friendly. The femininity part, we're going to go a little bit deeper into that. The fitness part is pretty much self-explanatory, taking care of your body. and making sure that your mind is equally as strong, as healthy, as same as your spirit. And then the friendly part. So if you guys don't know the slogan for feminine and fit, is feminine, fit, and friendly, because nobody wants a baddie with a bad attitude. Okay. And that one is important to me because a lot of times we see people who are outwardly beautiful. They might have a banging body, be beautiful in the face, take manicured, hair done, all of those things, but their attitude doesn't match their outward appearance. And so with this, we want to emphasize the importance of, hey, we want to be beautiful people. We're taking care of ourselves, but we're also taking another step deeper to make sure that our mental and spiritual health is equally as healthy as our body. But then another step to make sure that we're friendly, inviting, loving, so that we can share the wealth of knowledge that we've had, that we're putting in the work for, with other people through our positive energy, through our interactions, whether we at the nail salon or work or whatever. Okay. All right. So why be feminine and fit? Okay. I know both of y'all are on the go, so you aren't able to take notes, but I will be recording this, so we'll be able to post it later if you want to go back into. Oh, you got your pen and paper? Okay. So feel free to take notes as you want to, and then of course we'll have the replay up on our back office. I'm trying it a different way this time, so we'll see how it goes over here. But so why be feminine, fit, and friendly? So the ultimate point of it all, of course, we want to be good people, but it's to get our desired outcomes from life. All right. The point of it all is to get our desired outcomes, whether it's in relationships, whether it's corporately, or in our careers. And we want to give and add to the world, but there's also some things that we want for ourselves. And so those are our desired outcomes. A couple weeks ago, we talked about narrowing down what your desired outcomes are in each area. So what is it that you want out of life? A lot of times it's easy to kind of go through the motions, and we're just living, and taking it day by day. If something happens, then we have these dramatic reactions, positive or negative, and then we just navigate the situation from there. But it's important to know what are your actual desired outcomes in each area. Is your desired outcome marriage, family, kids? Is your desired outcome to be a boss chick? Do you want to own your own business? Are you a person that's just like, hey, I want to climb the corporate ladder. I want to be the top of my company. We all have different desired outcomes, and those things kind of slightly change or get molded over time. But it definitely is important for us to know, and not only to know, but to have them written out, so that when we do our self-assessments and we do our check-ins, we can make sure that our day-to-day activities are in line to getting us our desired outcomes. Okay. So if you guys haven't done that, I think both of y'all have already, but make sure that you're going back and checking, and making sure that your day-to-day activity is aligned with it. We talked about breaking it down. What it's easy to say, hey, I want this in 5 years, but what has to happen in the next year to get to that goal? What has to be continuous in the following months to get to that goal? If you're trying to achieve a goal for the month, what has to happen in the weeks leading up to the month? What has to happen in that day? And then how do we make our day more effective to get us to those goals? And making sure that you're doing something every single day to get to those goals. And if you're definitely not doing anything that's going to send you left, it's doing opposite or going the opposite direction of getting you to those goals. Okay. And then the number 2 that we're going to go into is characteristics of a feminine woman. I have a note here, and I have, in today's society, I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, but it seems as though a lot of traditional feminine traits are rejected nowadays, or pushed against. There's a lot of force back against them. So I wanted to propose the question, of what do you see as characteristics of a feminine woman. Tish, I don't know if you're able to talk. I see Akia had to go, or you could type it in the chat too, if that's easier. But just thinking of it, not even, doing any research, just off of the top of your head. What are the characteristics of a feminine woman?
You said, what are the characteristics? What's the last part you said?
Of a feminine woman.
Oh, okay.
Like, they come to mind initially.
Someone who is inviting, understanding, considerate.
Okay.
Those are
The ones that come to mind. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so the important thing to know is we have both feminine and masculine qualities. Men have both, we have both. But in order to get our desired outcome in a lot of situations, this focuses in on using those feminine qualities in order to get, again, to our desired outcomes. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have some masculine traits. It's normal, it's natural. But to make sure in certain situations that you're not allowing them to overshadow to the point where it's taking away your femininity altogether, right? So I'll give you an example. In corporate environments, sometimes it could be beneficial to have more masculine traits, more assertiveness and things like that. Same thing with running a business, right? But we had training on femininity in the workplace and how we can take those masculine traits, match them with feminine traits, and still move in a way that gets us our desired outcomes without completely shifting too far to the other side. Okay. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to list a couple of traits that came just in a general search. Keep in mind, you may like some of them and say, hey, these are qualities that I want to take on, or qualities that I already have that I want to bring forth more. And some of them, they might not be things that you identify or connect with, and that's fine. It's just important to have an idea generally what some of them are, okay? Number one is nurturing, okay? Being able to show empathy and support. Nurturing, being able to show empathy and support. So, of course, those multiple ways that we can get our desired outcome by being nurturing and being supportive, showing empathy in situations, workplace, relationships, etc. Number two is emotional expression. Emotional expression. Express emotions openly and authentically, and valuing emotional connections. Now, this one is a big one because when we think about being a woman or having those feminine qualities, a lot of times we get we're too emotional thing, right? So for a lot of women, being emotional comes naturally. It's a part of who we are. But making sure that we not control our emotions, but we manage them is important. So that's why we have our talks about emotional intelligence as well as effective communication. It's not the emotions that are the problems at all. A lot of times it's how we manage them, our reactions, our communication that comes either by impulse or just being blurted out that could have negative effects on us, all right? So I want you to specifically write that one down. You are not controlling your emotions. You are managing your emotions, but also finding value in emotional connections and being able to express emotions openly and authentically is important, and a feminine trait. Number three, we have gracefulness. Okay? Gracefulness is number three. And as a point under it, it has posture, movement, behavior, elegance and poise, gracefulness. As a subpoint under gracefulness is posture, movement, behavior, elegance, and poise. So this goes into when we talk about our body language. Okay, what is our body saying about us? Especially if we have certain desired outcomes. Maybe it may be to attract a partner of the opposite sex. Maybe it may be to have better communication in our relationships. A lot of times, what we say with our body has more of an effect than what we don't say. I'm sure we've all experienced those times where somebody's like, oh, you tripping, you got an attitude. And you're like, what are you talking about? I didn't even say anything. Like, I didn't say nothing at all. But something about our body language, our movement was telling a story that our mouth didn't say. Now, it is possible for people to misread your body language and things like that. But it is important for us to be aware of it to make sure when we're in situations and we have a specific desired outcome that our body language, our movement, our behavior isn't sending a different message than what we are intended. Okay, Akia said she missed number 1. All right, Akia, so number 1 was nurturing, having a nurturing nature. And it was showing empathy and support. I'll say that again. Number 1 was having a nurturing nature, and it was the subpoint for it was showing empathy and support. So that could be for your girls, significant other. All right, going on, skipping back down to number 4, attention to appearance. Okay, attention to appearance. And a subpoint here is takes pride in her appearance. Tisha's at the nail salon right now getting those nails and feet done up. That is important, okay? And it doesn't mean that you have to go around wearing a bunch of makeup or big lace fronts all over the place, because y'all know me, I'll do neither one of those. Now, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But just making sure that we are taking attention to how we look, because it does make a difference in our interactions, and it does make a difference to getting our desired outcomes. Pretty privilege is a thing, even with you. If somebody comes and they are happen to be a little bit more attractive by nature, unintentionally, intentionally or unintentionally, even with, let's say, generic, they're not super nice, but they're not rude or anything either. Them being slightly more attractive may cause you to give them a better review on you know how they have the little waiter write-ups or something like that. It might be the difference between a 6 and a 7. You never know. And that's science too, okay? So we can look into that some more and make sure that we have some facts and some specific sources that we can go back when we go deeper in that section. But it is important. In the corporate environment, if you are an owner of your own business, if I came over here, how I woke up this morning, you know, if I had this ponytail up and y'all saw this afro on the side, y'all might listen to me just a little bit less, all right? So, but even with this, feminine and fit, if I was saying, hey, I'm having this brand, let's say all of the same things were there, we had the back office there, the exercises, all of this information, if I did not have the appearance of a feminine and fit woman, it's like, why should I listen to her? When I first got in the fitness industry, I was overweight, wanted to do it. I got a lot of clientele off of heavier women, right? And I was a little bit smaller. And look, it's this deal, right? Just being transparent. My initial clientele when I got in the fitness industry and I first started, it was a lot of bigger women who wanted to get down to being my size. Now, actual people who were somewhat in their body range, they weren't interested because I wasn't fit. I didn't look like a personal trainer. Is it fair? Who's to say? Did I have the knowledge? I did the studying. I was going to the gym. I had, you know what I mean? The book knowledge of things as well as some experience with it, but I didn't look the part. So that does affect my desired outcome if I have the desired outcome of wanting to attract clients. Okay? Now, of course, the fitness industry is a little bit, stricter or direct with it. But same thing in the corporate. Same thing in the corporate world. And again, it doesn't have to be being all dolled up. You don't have to put on a load of makeup to go to Target, but just making sure that we are well groomed, that we're doing things like Tisha is, and making sure that at least our nails are done. If we're not going to a nail salon, making sure that we don't have one fingernail on. All right? Because listen, if it be like that sometimes, I get it, it be like that sometimes. But it's like, baby girl, at least take the other nail off and get a file, until we can get there. Making sure that we look like something, okay? It opens doors. And then also when we go to the piece on if we're looking for someone, or we're looking to attract someone, we want to be attractive and you want to be sexually attractive, right? If you have a partner, Tisha just got engaged. You want to be attractive and sexually attractive to your partner. Over time, being with somebody all the time, you can get used to them, but you still want them to find you attractive. It helps for a multitude of things. For your family, family that you have, that you're building, all of those things. It makes a difference. All right, going to the next one. I feel like I was talking a little bit too much on that one. Going down to 5 is communication style. And for the communication style, it has softer, more collaborative, and active listening. All right, I'm going to say that one again. Softer, more collaborative, and active listening. All right. So, with this one is very important because in some conversations that we have, this has come up a few times. Finding the balance between being passive and being aggressive and masculine. You can get your point across, you can express concern, you can give input without trying to be the dominant one in the conversation or trying to overtake the conversation. There's ways to communicate in a soft manner that still allows you to be able to have effective communication of your thoughts, ideas, and emotion. We're going to go into this one again. We briefly touched on it before, but we're going to go into this one again. One thing that I liked from pulling this off, I think I got this one specifically off of ChatGPT, but the more collaborative part, right? Especially for us in relationships, it's important to, if instead of being like, we about to do this, or I'm about to, instead of being so direct, give your partner the space to say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think about it? You may already have it in your mind what you want to do, but being more collaborative and inviting that conversation, the other person's thoughts, feelings, and valuing them, even in the way that you communicate or tell somebody something, it makes a difference, right? A softer communication in a way that is active listening as well. A lot of times, and I am guilty of this, we will have a certain thought, feeling, especially if it's backed by some kind of emotion, that we're not actively listening to what the other person is saying. All right, this is a feminine quality, but this is one that I think that we all should adopt. Some of them you can kind of play with it and say, hey, I'm going to take a piece of this, I'm going to leave that, but this is one that is beneficial for all of us, is to make sure that we're not listening to respond, but we're actually listening to what the person is saying, and not only what's coming out of their mouth, but what is their heart saying. right? I say that all the time. Okay, well, hear my heart. I'll throw that line out all the time. I just want you to hear my heart, at least hear my heart. But we have to make sure that we're doing the same thing. Because for a masculine man, a lot of times that soft communication don't be happening. And I know we be like, well, dang, you ain't got to talk to me like that, or why he say it like this. And then if we got a soft communicating man and we looking sideways, like, you know what I mean? Or the respect isn't there. So if you are one of those people who desire to have a masculine man in your life, whether it's in a relationship or, any other interactions, understand that their communication may not always be soft, but it's up to you to at least be conscious of it and make sure that your communication is softer and is actively listening, not only to what they say, but what's to their body language and what their heart is saying. What does it mean? If they respond and they say something and they're like, hell no, you might not have to take it like that. What that hell no may be, hey, I care about you, and the fact that you're bringing this up is like blowing me up. Like this is I deem what you're asking or what you're trying to do as unsafe, or it puts me in a position to not be able to care for you or take care of you or my family. So trying to hear past it and then going back to the emotional intelligence, deciding what you want your desired outcome to be, maneuvering all of them together in a nice little soup, and then responding from there, okay? And then I have a little note here that I put in quotes, and it says, baby, this is the problem, what should we do? Even though in your head you may already have it figured out and you may just be sharing, you don't really want no input, but being inclusive in that communication is definitely important, and it can strengthen those relationships as well. Number 6 is intuition. I'm running a little bit low on time, so if it goes out, y'all just jump back on, okay? But intuition, relying on your instincts. Okay? Intuition. And then we'll put a side note, relying on your instincts. Now here, do I believe in women's intuition? Absolutely. But I also think that past situations, trauma, and all of those things can sometimes put either a straight up block or a filter on what we call instincts. So here it's important to find a balance between trusting your intuition, but knowing where there's still work within you that needs to be done so that you can see clearly. You ain't always right. Sometimes you may be right on though. So being able to discern the two, and even if you're not clear on the two or you have an instinct about something, take a step back, reflect, process the situation. And instincts don't always have to be for negative things. Sometimes we gotta have instincts on, okay, maybe I need to just be quiet. This is the time not to express myself and to let him know what I'm feeling because he should know by now. Maybe this is a time that them instincts need to kick in and say, let me chill for a second. Let me take a walk. Let me go outside and do something else. Maybe somebody is hungry and you need to go make something to eat. Those instincts kick in more than one area, okay? So, intuition, relying on instincts, and making sure, I have a sub point, making sure that you do the work. Trust your instincts, but do the work. Make sure your instincts are coming from a healed, whole person, okay? Creativity. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna close off before we go to that one. Let me see. I've learned to remove myself now since yes. And even how you remove yourself is important too, because if you're like, let me go, this too much. Now you still starting stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of, hey baby, I'm gonna walk down the street real quick. I'll be right back. Or just disappear. Don't do that. Oh Lord, just walking off and not saying nothing. Oh, that is the most disrespectful. Oh, you just left. Oh, so the way you do it too, even the instincts of being quiet. Let me be quiet because you tripping. Nope, you ain't gotta say that. If you gonna be quiet, just be quiet. You ain't gotta say because of A, B, C, and D. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna jump off and then I'm gonna jump back on for you guys. Okay. All right. If I could figure out how to end it. Oh, there it goes. We'll be right back. All right. There you go. Okay, I got you back. All right. So, going on to, we just finished up intuition, relying on your instincts, but making sure that trauma, past situations isn't blocking your ability to have effective instincts working, okay? And also, instincts doesn't necessarily have to always be about something negative. You can have your instincts kick in for positive things as well, things that you maybe can do in order to better the situation that you're in to get that desired outcome. All right. Going down to number 7, creativity. Femininity can be expressed through artistic expression. This one specifically is something that I constantly have to go back around to and make sure that I'm doing it. And what I mean is finding a way to be creative. Sometimes we get on our day-to-day life and we're like in a routine of things and we don't have a space to actually be creative. So be intentional about it. If it means buying a canvas, this is something I actually used to do. Buying a canvas, buying paint, and you might not can't paint to save your life, but just get in there and just dabble it. You know, have yourself a glass of wine. People do the little the paint and sips. You can do paint and sip at home, okay? Or if you want to go out with your friends and whatever, that's fine too. But just taking that time to be intentionally creative, and whether it's with your clothes, you know, you can be creative with your clothes, you can be creative with your hair. Don't do too much now, you know, because I'm going to let you know. I'll let you know. Don't ask because I'm going to tell the truth. But like, yeah, it's cute for Halloween. But make sure you take that time. It makes a difference just for release therapy. But also that's a nice quality to have, a little touch. And we all have creativity in different areas. So I'll give you an example. House decoration type stuff, that ain't me. All day you could be like, what do you think about this floor with this wall? I'm like, they both in the same color family, it works. That's not me, right? But in other ways I can in other ways I can express my creativity. Things like movement. Tisha said her dance, exactly. Creativity and just putting on music, moving. So this is something I have to get back to doing as well, Tisha. So I went, I don't have a dance studio here right now. I could find one, but that's the work that I would have to put in. But even in the living room, just turning on some music and just allowing yourself to dance and move. However, like they have the little saying, dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's watching. Now you might find yourself coming up with a whole choreography. Disney music. So Disney, for me, is a win, right? So I might be singing to Disney, and in my head, I've had that creative space where I've become all of the characters, and now I'm acting them out and singing, which no, I can't sing, but I am singing and acting out the parts. Allow that light freeness of that creativity to come back and to remain, because it transfers in other areas, it's freeing to the spirit, freeing to the mind. And you'll notice that even if it's just like, hey, yeah, like Sundays didn't make it to church this Sunday, but I might listen to a sermon or something, but then I'm turning on my Disney music and I'm cleaning up the house, but we're swinging around, singing in the mic, dropping it, doing all of the characters, jumping on the couch, all of those things, allowing that childlike self to be awakened, okay? Number 8, excuse me. Strong relationships, building and maintaining relationships with friends and family, all right? Building and maintaining relationships with friends and family. Now, this is important, even if, now, like I told you guys before, some relationships take from you in your different spaces in your life. Sometimes it's certain things that you can't allow yourself access to, especially if you're in a rebuilding stage. If you're in a rebuilding stage where you have to protect your energy and it's just one of those situations where it's just all toxicity, I get it, right? But building and maintaining relationships doesn't mean that you have to have somebody around you all the time. It doesn't mean that you even have to let them affect your energy at all. So there's one person that I have in mind. There's one person I have in mind, and it's a family member. And that relationship isn't one that I am interested in, per se, maintaining or whatever. But I understand that it's my responsibility to continue to show love to the person, regardless of what happened, how they did me, because we're the ones that are doing the work. Everybody isn't taking the time to do the work, right? So we can't expect someone who doesn't even know that the work exists to behave in the way that we do. We can be protective of ourselves, but every time I see that person, I'm, hey, how you doing? Hey, give them a hug, show them love. You need anything? Regardless. Now they can go back, oh, she's so fake. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you're holding up your end to somewhat maintain that relationship and to continue to show them love. But I'm just giving that example simply to say, maintaining relationships doesn't mean, number one, kissing anybody's butt, or it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go into a state of self-sacrifice, whether it be emotionally, financially, or whatever, because it's your family member or your friend, or we've been around each other since the 3rd grade, and so I feel an obligation to this person. You can categorize your relationships in certain areas based off of your right now, your current situation, and what's the priorities for you. Now, some people may assume that you're their priority and think that if it's not your kids, or your husband, then they're movable. And I use those words very intentionally. Your kids or your husband. You can assess them accordingly. Still want to maintain relationships. We still want to have positive energy towards relationships. As far as that, we're not talking, which me and the kid, we're going to do some more talking, and we'll have a whole session on this. But your win for this week, hey, it could have been easily, argument or something there. But say, hey, I have to maintain this relationship. This is my blood. This is my sister. We live in the same house. It's awkward for us not to. I don't have to deal with you. I don't have to like the way that you move. I don't have to agree with the decisions that you make. But for me, in order to get my desired outcomes in life and to keep the positive energy flowing, because we don't need no negativity, especially not for somebody that's doing too much. I'm going to make sure that I am still pouring out that love, using effective communication to, even if they are intentionally or unintentionally doing something to us, we can remove ourselves enough to where we're protecting ourselves and that we're not putting ourselves in harm's way, but interacting with them in a way that still shows that feminine fit energy, that love, and the light that's within us. All right. And deciding boundaries as well is important. Okay. Boundaries as well for friends and family, right? For friends, Tisha, now you're about to be a married woman. So whereas whereas before it'd be like, hey, go to your girlfriends, girl, this that happened, and blah 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 blah. Hey, it might be some conversations that you can't have no more. You know what I mean? Yes, we're maintaining those relationships, but we've known each other for years. But you are a single woman, you can't do nothing for me. You can't do nothing for me. And even sometimes with the ones that are in relationships or in marriages, it may sometimes be the same thing, but you got to use your discernment to know what you let in. That's my best from a divorced woman. That's my best advice I can give to you. Is everybody that needs to know, and it's certain things. Hey, I don't care if my husband went over here and flipped over everybody's car and cursed them out. It's certain things. No, that's my husband. You can't say that. I'm gonna have to put that boundary there. No, it's not okay for you to give your opinion about anything concerning my husband. If it's not, you look nice, or pass the ketchup. It's not too much that you should really be saying, because that is your now before it's a certain level of relationship that we have in our relationships anyway, but now it's even more important because there is a vow that's being exchanged, right? So, and I know but I'm just saying it, keep it in mind, because sometimes old habits, something goes down, and it's like, girl, he did this and he did that, and they may, friends may very much so have your best interest at heart, but when those vows are exchanged, that becomes your first and foremost priority under God, even before the kids. Now, people debate about that one, but God, and God don't mean church either, so there's a difference there. So if somebody like, hey, I need you to come on Wednesday and do such and such and such and such, and your husband like, no, baby, I need you to do such and such, it's like, hey, I can't make it, sister, whatever, or pastor such and such, I won't be able to make it. My husband has me doing something else, right? So God, husband, kids, then everybody else, right? My bad for that tangent, but you was feeling me, so. Confidence and femininity, all right? Confidence and femininity is number 9. The confidence makes a difference in getting all your desired outcomes. It makes a difference in relationships. If you are looking for somebody, it makes a difference in the corporate world. It makes a difference in your business. If you don't believe you, why would somebody else? That's easy to say, but bringing it and having the confidence, especially if we maybe went through a rough situation or something, that's a little bit harder. But being aware of it and knowing is the first step to making sure that you have it there. And then we'll go through some more information on that too. If you have a lack in confidence, or if you want to gain more confidence, what can I do to gain more confidence, right? Now, quick go-to for gaining confidence within yourself is to do the things that you say you're gonna do. That's the easy one. Hey, even if I can't depend on nobody else, I know I can depend on me. If I say I'm gonna do something, I get it done. Am I gonna be perfect all the time? Absolutely not, but I'm gonna make that a priority, okay? Going down to number 10, flexibility and adaptability. Flexibility and adaptability, okay? Now, this doesn't mean just be blown with the wind and do whatever, whenever. But in those relationships that are our priorities, being able to be adaptable, right? Being able to navigate social situations with ease. For me personally, I believe that I am, but this is something I put emphasis on, is being able to go in any environment, right? Whether it's a corporate event and I'm going with somebody, or I'm going with my partner, or whether it's going with the homeboys, being able to navigate both situations. And that's a plus too, even when dating and relationships. Hey, I can take my wife to church, or we could go to the trap house. And I know in none of those situations do I have to worry about her doing or saying something inappropriate, or be able to navigate everything. And even if it's something that makes you uncomfortable, just don't say too much. Just chill. Okay? All right, so that's all I have for you, those 10. And then, of course, that was the femininity part, the fit part. Pretty self-explanatory. We're taking care of our mind, body, and spirit. Bodies are important. We have our emphasis in making sure that we're getting our exercises and done, taking care of ourselves physically, but also making sure that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, those things are being worked out equally as well, and putting in the work for them. So we're doing things like prayer, we're doing things like meditation, we're doing our affirmations, we're taking the time to get outside and go grounding, right? To make sure that all of those things are on one accord. And if we are consistently and intentionally doing all of those things in those areas, we'll be, for one, just better off overall, overall people. But it also helps us get closer to our desired outcomes, and then also being able to process when they actually arrive, because a lot of times we're constantly like in a state of want or trying to get something, and it's like, girl, you don't even realize what you was praying for and put on the vision board and was crying and snotting and all that. It's already here. It's already happened. You've already been blessed with it. So taking the time to be able to say, hey, this is something I prayed for. You know, for me, when these back pains and pelvic pain, like, who knew that was a thing? Like, how, like, what in the world? When I'm feeling all of that, being able to be like, I'm grateful to have this experience of holding a child. When your kid throw a pancake across the table, a kid, and you know better. Hey, I'm grateful for these things. Tisha, you getting married. When he say something wrong and you like, I know he didn't just, I must be tripping. This can't be real. Hey, this is something I desired for a man who loves me and my family. He's going to be a provider and make sure that we good. He's driving me up the wall right now, but God, I thank you anyway. So working towards those things, but also having the wisdom. So when we get them, and even the sprinkles of them coming and being there already, even being able to express gratitude for those, right? So that's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to see how this went on here, and we're going to have it uploaded on to the back office as well. Did y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns for me? Anything that you missed?
I'm sorry, could you just run back? I must have missed one because I only have 9 bullet points.
Okay.
Just run down one more time.
Yes, I'm going to run it back. All right. So number 1 was a nurturing nature, showing empathy and support. Number 2 was emotional expression, expressing emotions openly and authentically, valuing emotional connections. Number 3 was gracefulness, posture, movement, behavior, elegance, and poise. Number 4 was attention to appearance, takes pride in appearance. Number 5 is communication style, softer, more collaborative, active listening. Number 6 was intuition, relying on your instincts. Number 7 was creativity, expressing your creativity and artistic expression. Number 8 was strong relationships, building and maintaining relationships with friends and family. Number 9 was confidence and femininity, embracing confidence. And number 10 was flexibility and adaptability. Got it? All right, perfect. Akia, you need anything over there? I see your, okay, yeah. I see her coming over here. Anything else you need, ma'am? I can't hear you. I can't hear you for some reason. Yes, okay. Wait, your voice went out again. Hold the mic up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No. My twin's trying to go to the bathroom with her sister. Come here. Come on, please. I know you say. Come on. I was saying that I would probably be more needed 10 points. Can you hear me now?
Yes, say that one more time.
I'm going to need an in-depth breakdown of these 10 points.
Yes.
I'm here, but my other child walked across our house and follow her sisters, and I need to go work with that.
So we're going to go back through all of them and break them down a little bit more. Some of them have already kind of been covered in our previous workshops, but we're going to go back through all of them. So it's not like we just do a workshop one time and then we don't revisit it again, but we're going to go through and we're going to dissect each one over time. So yeah, we'll definitely have that breakdown for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, y'all need anything else? Y'all good?
It's a rest on this Saturday.
Yes, I don't know about if we get much of that, but we'll see. All right, so y'all have a phenomenal weekend. Akia, enjoy your time with your family. Tisha, enjoy your time getting your nails and your feet did. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Let me know if you need anything. I'll have you guys' exercises and everything up Sunday for Monday. Akia, let me know if you need the same exercises or if you need new ones.
I'm going to do the same one.
Okay.
I'm not going to find therapy. It's not consistent. What I need to do is
Okay. So we'll run back the same ones from last week. And then, we're good to go. In the meantime, if you guys need me, any questions, concerns, comments about anything, let me know. Even if something pops up later, just let me know, all right? All right, y'all have an awesome day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You too.
Love you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right, peace out, family. This was our femininity workshop for the Feminine and Fit movement. If you are interested in joining the Feminine and Fit movement, where we have our weekly exercises that are given to help you with your physical, also our mental and emotional assignments that are given weekly, in addition to our accountability calls and femininity workshops. This is one of the only programs that helps you with your femininity through improving the health of your mind, body, and spirit. So check it out at www.feminineandfit.com. If you are interested in joining this program, you can do feminineandfit.com/moms, MOS, details. All right, and I'll also drop that link as well. Let me know what you think about our call today, and if you have any questions or concerns about anything, have an awesome day. Peace out. Bye.